الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأهل بيته أجمعين. Brothers and sisters, welcome back all of you in another episode of the Tajwid show. Uh, in our last episodes, we talked about the rules of Ta'awud and Tasbih, how to start off with A'udhu Billahi Minash Rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and rules continuing in terms of the recitation. We also discussed the Makharij al-Huruf. There's all the five places of the Makharij al-Huruf that were exactly that the letters should come out. And also we discussed the Sifat al-Huruf, the qualities of the letters. That it's not enough just to say the letter from the right place. The letter has to have certain qualities in it so that it can fulfill the right of the letters. So it's very important that we all of you should be familiar with this, the two topics, Makharij al-Huruf and the Sifat al-Huruf. Today we'll be discussing another aspect of the Tajweed, which is very often we see the reciters, they make mistakes, or when they recite, they recite incorrectly. This is, we call it Tafkhim and Tarqiq. The letters which are the heavy or the full mouth, okay, we call them tafkhim, and which are the empty mouth, we call them tarqiq, or the muraqqaq letters, or in the letters, we call them mufakham letters. This topic I briefly touched on the Sifat al-Huruf when we discussed the Sifat isti'la, Huruf al-isti'la, and Huruf istifal. This is exact the same 7 letters here, with the isti'la or Huruf musta'liya we call. This is this kha, sad, dad, dad, ghain, ta, qaf, and za. So, in short, we call them khussa, dagtin, qiz. They are the 7 letters we discussed in huruf musta'aliya when we took the sifat al-huruf. We call them the isti'la letters they are. And apart from these 7 letters, rest of the letters we call them huruf mustafila in sifat al-huruf, okay, or the huruf the istifal, sifat istifal we call them. Today we go a bit deep into that because I said I'll discuss it when in the next episode, the tafkhim and tarqiq. The kha and sad and dad and qaf and ta and za and ghain, you can feel by saying these letters, they are quite heavy. But when I say sa, za, fa, ta, they're very light. Okay. This is sometimes you have the clue by listening the letters, how does it sound? When I say a and ka, they're not the same. Sa and sa, you see when you say sa, a, it's very full mouth, right? Those are the 7 letters. In short, we call them khussa dagtin qiz. Khussa dagtin qiz. 7 letters. Kha, sad, dad, ghain, ta, qaf, and la. Khussa dagtin qiz. Qiz. Okay? So these 7 letters is very important. It should be stamped in your memory that anytime I come across, I should say straight away these are heavy letters. Apart from this, the 7 letters, there are 18 letters. They're always light. Okay, these 7 letters never changes the sifat of the heaviness to the light, and these 18 letters never come to the heaviness in terms of the sifat. So these 18 letters. So we have 7 and 18 is 25. We got 3 more letters to go. This alif, lam, ra, I wrote in the middle separately, these 3 letters. They're sometimes heavy, sometimes light, depending on their setting. We'll discuss these 3 when we finish this one, inshallah. Let's talk about first this 5 heavy letters. Just before going into the example, this heaviness of the letters are not the same every time. Okay, there are 5 stages of the heaviness. 5 stages of the heaviness, all of them heavy, but in the heaviness there are 5 levels, we call them. Okay, this 5 level we have to know when they actually occur. So for instance, if I say this one, صابرون. Okay, this صابرون, if you see this word, there's one letter here. The صاد is where we have from the 7 letters, which is the heavy letter. Now, when this any heavy letter comes with a fatha on the top and after that alif, so 2 conditions. If the heavy letter has a fatha on the top and after that is alif, then we call them the heaviest. Okay, if you put the degree of the heaviness, it could be the most heavy. So for instance, I'll put like this. Maybe it'll be easier for you to understand. So if I like this, it could be not very good artist. Okay, right. So I would say this. I mean, heaviness gone down. Now, if the letter has a fatha, the heavy letter has a fatha, it's the second level. For instance, basara. Basara. Or sabara. Just sabara is easier. Sabara. Now, the second heaviness is when the heavy letter has a fatha. That's it. Very simple. When the letter has a fatha, it's the second degree of the heaviness. Now, third, when the heavy letter has a dhamma. Third condition is when the heavy letter has a dhamma on the top. Okay. And the fourth one is when the heavy letter has sukun on the top. I don't know whether you can see the maghdubi. 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 Okay. And the fifth or the last one, you can write like this. It could be fifth. Fifth. So we have the 5 levels here. First is when the heavy letter has a fatha and after that is alif, is saw, or that long. And if the sabirun or ta'un, or if we say qatilu, okay, these all are heaviest. Now just fatha is sadara or nasara, nasara, okay, daraba, just fatha, okay. If the letter has a dhamma, فضربوا يا غلام, okay, مغضوب, the fourth one is when the letter has a sukun, okay, is and letter before fatha, مغضوب. And the last and the fifth level of heaviness, if the letter has a sukun or it has a kasra, okay, قسطي, for instance, قسطي, قسطي. Now, this 5 levels. I did put the last one. If the letter has a sakin and the letter before, the heavy letter has a sakin and the letter before is kasra, then it is least light. Or the heavy letter has a kasra. This is the fifth level. This which is the least light level. Okay. So again, just before going to the more example, one common mistake I noticed among the reciters when we recite, we tend to make the lip shape round, which is not correct. Lip shape can be put into three shapes. One is smiley or lip spread. Another is the normal lip shape, stay normal. And another is round shape. So three levels. Again, because lips is so important in Quran recitation of the Quran, it sometimes changes the whole get-up of the letters. Whole shape of the letter could change. You might say letter from the makhraj correctly. When you come to the mouth and lips give you the wrong shape, that's it. It won't come out properly. So one thing is the very important three, the shape of the lips. One is smiley or the lip spread. Another is lips normal shape. So one is another is. So these three shapes. Okay. When you give the fatha or we talk about the heaviness of the letter, that letter shouldn't be round shape or not the dhamma shape. The round shape is the waw, wa, or madmum shape. The letter dham shape is called the madmum, or in another language sometimes called pesh shape. Okay, so it's this letter no. For instance, if I say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, I didn't say shaytwa. Shaytwa means I put the dhamma shape or the round shape on the ta. But this ta is shaytan, one of the heaviest form, the top heavy, because after heavy letter there is the standing fatha there with the alif there, so we call them shaytan, not shaytwa, not twa. Same أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. We talk about when you come to the ra, then we talk about the ra, but this is not شيطان الرجيم. Okay. إن الذين قالوا, not قالوا. قا is not the dhamma shape. It's a normal. So قالوا, not قالوا, not صابرون. It's الصا. You see, I didn't say الصا, الطا, قا, ظا. فظلموا, not فظا. Remember, it's not فظا. And this is very common. It's فظا, فظلموا. Okay, so this is the first one is the heavy, and then when it's the heaviest one with alif after that, just fatha. فظا, not فظا. غلام, مغضوب, رب اغفر. أقيم الصلاة, not أقي and أقي. أقيم الصلاة is the least heaviness because the heavy letter has a kasra, or the heavy letter has sakin and letter before has kasra. For instance, letter before has رب اغفر, like this, or واليوم الآخر, not آخر, آخي and آخي, آخر. These are the heaviness of the letters that we talked about. This very common. We come across the letters when we see the heavy letters in the word. Now the light letters is very straightforward, very simple. We have less issue with the light letters because people tend to say the light letters more. For instance, insan, not insan, not a'udhu with a'udhu. Make sure your lips spread so that you can say correctly. This is one of the ways saying the correct letters. So alhamdu, not alhamdulillahi, no. Al-ha, a light letter, lam light letter, ha light letter, mim light letter, da light letter. So alhamdulillahi. You see, I didn't say round shape or the normal shape. Alhamdulillahi. That's not the right. Okay. So beauty of the recitation, when you say the letter correctly, and sometimes the reciters ask, so how can I beautify my recitation? How can I read nicely? It's a very simple rule. You just fulfill the right of the letters, it would come out naturally beautiful, inshallah. So it's important that you say, if it is the light letters, remember in your mind, it has to be lips spread. If it is not light, lips normal. If it is the dhamma letter, lips is round shape. Now there are letters sometimes in the same letters, one letter is light, another letter is heavy, another letter is light, and this is what you need to practice. For instance, if I say غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ, I don't say ma, because mim is light, so it's not ma, it's ma. On the other hand, ghain is heavy, so it has to be not spreading, it's a normal shape. So it's not غَيْر. The two mistakes could happen. One is غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ, both of the mim and ghain are made light. This is not right. Or غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ, I made mim and ghain both heavy. Both of them wrong. You need to say غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ. I didn't say مَغْضُوبِ. You see ma and gha. Ma, gha. One thing I would just remind all the reciters, all the light letters, they never sound the ah sound. Ah. You know, when you say, if you notice the sheep, when you say meh, that meh, this sound, or English ba, okay, this a sound. So it's alif fatha a, not ah. Ba fatha ba, ta, tha, not ba, ta, tha. Make sure when this concept is clear to you, then it will be easier for you to say the light letters. So it's ba, ta, tha, ja, not ba, ta, tha, ja, ha. Make sure it's ba, ta, tha, ja, ha. The kha comes is kha, not kha, not kha. It's kha. Okay. So there are the heavy letters always. Now there's some point, as I mentioned, it's a bit tricky when they come with the same word, and this is why you need to practice a bit more so that it can be perfect, inshallah. Also, there's a light letters, as I said, always light. There's three letters, always they could change. They're not fixed in one place, okay, or one setting. These are the alif, lam and ra. Let's start with alif first. Alif. Now this is alif. Sometimes we get mixed up with alif and hamza. When we see any little hamza on the top, this is not alif anymore, it becomes hamza. Or another way is if we say that if the alif has a haraka, okay, then this alif becomes hamza. It's not alif sound anymore. Though we say alhamdu, I can see alif line on the, any straight line doesn't mean it's alif. This is very common, the perception of the reciters. When you see that any straight line is alif. No, if the straight line has any haraka, it doesn't alif. It doesn't identify itself as alif anymore. It becomes hamza. Okay. Ulaika alhamdulillah innal ladhina. This is what in some of the musab they put the little hamza on the bottom or on the top to identify. I'm talking about the alif, which is alif maddiya. Okay. Which comes with another letter. Now, this is very straightforward rule for this alif. If the alif preceded by a heavy letter, alif is heavy. If the alif preceded by a light letter, alif is light. So, if I write it, insan, you see this alif here. So look at this one. This alif here, okay. This alif here, as I mentioned before, you see this alif is not actually alif, it's a hamza. So I will talk about this alif. This alif is just before is a sin. Sin is a light letter. So this alif sounded insan. Likewise, alu. this alif is before just a qaf, it's a heavy letter. So this alif is heavy, is qalu, ansar, because alif comes after sad, heavy. Okay. Or akmam, meme, alif comes after meme, light letter, alif is light. Very straightforward rule, no complication at all. Okay. So you just remember, what's the alif followed by? If it is followed by heavy letter, alif is heavy. If they're followed by light letter, alif is light. Now, next one, we talk about the lam. Lam. Now, lam, there's two types of lam. Okay. Lam, there are two types. One is called, we call that the lam that we know, is lam. Another is lam when it comes in lafzul jalala or Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. When the lam comes in the word Allah. Okay. So we call lafzul jalala when it's the lam is come in the letter Allah, in the word Allah. Then this is what the lam is changes. But if this lam stays by itself, not in the part of Allah, this is the lam in the Allah, then whole of the Quran, this lam is light. I have the reciter, subhanallah. Most reciters is correct. But this lam is alhamdulillahi al. No, it's alhamdu. Okay. Al-malu wal-banuna, not al-ma, al-malu wal, okay, wal, this all the light. This lam is always lip spread. Remember, it's very common, a very simple rule. Now we come to this lam. When this lam has fatha or dhamma before, then this lam is heavy. If the letter is kasra before, then this one is light. So if this one and this one is light. If I give you the example, Allahu la ilaha illahu, Allahu. This lam has fatha before. So Allah. Huwa Allahu. Huwa Allah. Why has a fatha? So Allah before Prophet fatha, so is heavy. Ulidi'u Allah. Heavy. Now, if the kasra before, Bismillahi, very common. We all know it. And hardly make a mistake on this. Bismillah, Bismillah, because mim has a kasra. So this lam is, Allah is light. So only lillahi ma, okay. Billahi wa billahi. Okay, this anytime kasra before Allah, it becomes la. If it is fatha dhamma before, it's Allah. Okay, so simple thing, Bismillahi, kasra before, the Allah, the lam is light. Dhamma and fatha before, Allah is heavy always, if it is fatha and dhamma before. Now, I would say most, I don't say it's difficult, that which the letter needs the most attention. Okay, this is Ra. And I think the Ra would take whole of our time when I explain to the Ra. Okay, this letter, it sounds very, looks very, very straightforward, easy to write, but this Ra has alone 9 to 10 rules. Ra has loads of rules. Now Ra, before I go to actual the example, if we divide the Ra in different positions, then it could be easier for us. If the Ra, in general rule, if the Ra has a fatha, the Ra is heavy. Rabbi samawati, Rabbi, Ra has a fatha. If the Ra has a dhamma, Ra is heavy. ربما يود فروجهم. Okay. Ra is a kasra. This Ra is light. Okay. فرحين رجال. So at the beginning one, if you say رجال لا تلهيهم, so in the beginning, 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 so in ربنا آتنا. Ra is heavy because Ra is a fatha. If the Ra is a dhamma, ربما يود الذين is dhamma heavy. Ra has a kasra, رجال لا تلهيهم. Now, when the Ra we talk about in the middle, okay? If the middle Ra, if I say مرجعهم, مرجعهم. Now, if the Ra in the middle, it has sukun. Then we look at the letter before. If the letter before fatha, this Ra is fatha. مرجعهم. Simple. Or فارجع البصر. Okay. Anytime is Ra in the middle, letter before fatha, this Ra is heavy. Same rule, if the Ra is a sukun and letter before kasra, this Ra is light. Fir'aun. When I say kasra, it has to be kasra asli. Okay? Kasra asli and kasra ardi. We will two types of kasra, I'll talk later. When it's kasra asli here, then this is Fir'aun. Okay? Or bishirikikum. Right? Now, when I have this one, kasra ardi, this is not the original kasra. We put this one, you see. يرجع. This Ra has a sukun. But when we read this, starting with this one, we say يرجع, يرجعي. This is kasra ardi on this Ra. Okay, the temporary kasra. We put it to how to start this one. So this Ra is يرجعي. We say E, kasra sound, but the Ra is heavy. It's not Fir'aun rule here. So it's يرجعي, يرجعوا. Okay, this is one. Now, another the example of the Ra is if it is أمير تابو, أمير تابو, or you see this one again. Sometimes you could, if the hamzat al-wasl in the middle, or the kasra in the different word, not the same word. It's the irtabu. There's two different words. And it's easy way to understand when we see the hamzat al-wasl in the middle. We said if we don't try to go to the language part, just to understand easily when they're in the Quran. If you see the hamzat al-wasl, little swad on the top there, you know, swad, head of the swad here. This is called Amir Tabu. Amir, not Amir Tabu. Okay. Or this one. There's few examples in the Quran like this. This is one more example we have when the Ra in the middle. Another Ra, though it's in the middle, but if it is followed by a heavy letter. So for instance, it comes, I don't think it's so here, Ra is sakin, and letter before Qaf. And Qaf has a kasra. So I'm not going to look at the letter before what the letter is. I'll look at the sign. According to Fir'aun, Bishir Kikum, this ra supposed to be light. But because the following letter is one of the heavy letters, kha, sa, da, ta, this ta here, so this is why this ra is not light anymore. It is heavy. How it's qirtas, not qirtas, qir and qirtas. So this ra is heavy here. What the reason? Because the following letter is a heavy letter and it has a fatha. It's two conditions. When the ra sakin, letter after it is one of the heavy letters and it has a fatha on the top. So this letter is qirtas. There are some other example. Mirsad, 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 irsad, firqatin, not firqatin, no firqa, firqatin. Okay. So when the ra in the middle, we see that it changes a number of times. One is if the ra sakin, letter before kasra, then this ra is heavy, is kasra asli, fir'aun. Okay. Or if the ra has a the kasra farihin, I'm talking about the ra in the middle. Okay. So farihin, ra is light. Now, if the ra sakin, letter before dhamma, this ra is heavy. Okay. For instance, qurbatun, this ra is heavy. Now, when the ra sakin, letter before kasra ardi, okay, we call this irji'u. This ra is heavy, though its sound is kasra, but this ra is heavy here. Now, if the ra sakin and kasra in the previous word, not the same word, okay, then this ra again heavy. It's not light, though the kasra, the letter has the kasra underneath before. So it's mirutabu. Also, though the ra sakin letter before kasra, but the following letter, the heavy letter, one of the heavy letters, and it has a fatha, then it is heavy. There are 4 examples in the Quran like this. Mirsad, something mirsad and mirsad, 2 words, but I counted one, but anyway. One example. Another example is if the ra sakin letter before kasra, and after that the heavy letter, and that heavy letter has a kasra or kasratayn, okay, what we call it, kullu firqin kattawdi. There's a 2 option, both of them, okay. So this, it could be heavy, this ra could be light. So there's a both options are open for this ra. It's both options are open. There are a few, when you go to the last ra, then we can talk about this one again. So kullu, this ra, the scholar said it's better to say this ra light, kullu firqin, okay? But both are allowed. If you say, you can say firqin kattawdil or firqin, allowed, firqin allowed, both. But scholar prefers kullu firqin. So this one, when the ra in the middle, so you see the number of the places in the ra in the middle is changes. Now with the ra sakin, it comes at the end. If the ra sakin and letter before fatha, as we say, is heavy, kibar, okay. Now, if the ra sakin, letter before sakin as well, letter before sakin, then what should we do? So we usually look at the letter before akbar. If the letter Ra sakin, letter before sakin. Akbar. We look at the letter before. It's fatha, so Ra is heavy. Akbar. Ba is a fatha, so it's akbar. Right. But if we see the Ra sakin and letter before sakin, we have to go one step back. So it is wal fajr, because fa has a fatha on the top. So if the fatha, then until we go to the haraka, we have to keep going back. Right. So now we're talking about the third ra. We talked about the first ra, ربما ربنا آتنا فل, and then we talk in the middle ra, قرطاس فرقة, or فرعون, or ضرب, this all. Now we're talking about the last ra. Here when we talk about the ra sakin, if the letter before fatha or dhamma, this ra is heavy. Common rule. If the ra sakin letter before sakin, we have to go one step back. So if the ra has a kasra, if the ra sakin, letter before sakin, and letter before the letter has a kasra, then this ra is light. Okay. For instance, hijr. If we say hijr, hijr. So you see this ra sakin, letter before sakin, jim. So you have to go one step back. This letter has a kasra, so it's hijr, hijr. Now ra sakin, letter before sakin, one step back, it's a fatha, fajr, asr, wal asr, wal fajr, walayalin ashr, ashr, heavy. Okay. Now, if we have the ra sakin, letter before ya sakin, khayr. The scenario is like this. طير, خير. If the ra sakin, letter before ya sakin, then we don't go any more back. We stop here. Anytime ra sakin, letter before ya sakin, then this ra is always light. This ra is always light. So it's not khayr, it's khayr. It's not طير, it's طير, ضير. قالوا لا ضير, not ضير. Okay. Apart from the ya, any other letter sakin before ra sakin, then we have to jump one step back, like wal fajr, wal asr, walayalin ashr. Okay. Khusr, like this. All of them, we jumped one step back. But if this ra sakin, letter before ya sakin, then stop. This ra is always light. Okay. Now, I give you exception on these ones. If ra sakin, letter before heavy letter, and then letter before is a kasra. So two conditions again. Ra sakin, letter before one of the heavy letters, and before that is a kasra, then this ra, مصر وعين القطر. عين. Now, if the ra sakin, letter before sad, one of the heavy letters, and then before kasra, is Misr or Misr, Misr, Misr. This is both allowed here. And scholars prefer this is heavy. عين القطر or قطر, القطر or قطر, two examples in the Quran. So it's this, the last letter, again, this two, in this two example, the ra can be heavy, ra can be light, both are allowed. If it is ra comes with the sukun, letter before sukun, and which is one of the heavy letters, and letter before kasra. Now, if it is fatha, it's not light, it's heavy. Wal asr, as we know. Same here, ayn al qitr, it could be heavy, it could be light, both are allowed. So here is the ra, as I said, the ra takes the most of the time when you talk about the ra. And one of the common mistakes among the reciters, when you talk at the ra with the shadda or the sukun, khusr, as you see, sifat tikrar, one of the tikrar, the sifat we talked about in our last episode, which the ra should not have. So if I say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, nir, there's number of ra coming up. Tikrar, it's good repetition. That shouldn't happen. Just one ra. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان من شر, no شر sound. This is should be stopped. It's one ra. من شر ما خلق من شر النفاثات. Okay, this is one very important thing. We said in the sifat, all the sifat, when you talk about these qualities have to be in the letters, but only sifat, the sifat tikrar, we learn this sifat so that we don't put in the letter. We're aware of this. It's a mistake. So make sure the ra has one. Second problem with the ra when we recite is أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. If I say nirwajim, round shaped lips, then what's going to happen as if I said nirwajim. Okay, see if you can see this way. One is الشيطان الرجيم. It's supposed to be like this. Shaytan rajim. But when you say rajim, now what's the mistake could happen if you keep the round lips when you say the ra, heavy ra. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Nir first one. If I keep round shape, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Nir wa. You see, it sounds like nir wajim. Nir wajim. This is not correct. So this is what we said before. Number of times we always remind the reciters that lip shape is so important in Quran recitation. Sometimes we don't know, but we change the way we say it. So make sure when you say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, not Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, nirwa, as if we saying ra, but our lips telling me I'm giving you wow. So you come from the makhraj ra, but on the lips it deliver you as a wow. So this is all muddled up. So make sure you don't change the lip shape when you say this. So it's very common with the ra. I noticed with the reciters, whenever they say the ra, heavy ra, okay, firasha, not firasha, not firasha, okay. So there are the few the points about the ra. First thing with the mistake in terms of the ra is when it is with it shouldn't be with tikrar coming in number of ra shouldn't come, and don't change the lip shape to dhamma, but the round shape if the ra has a fatha. But if the ra has a dhamma, this obviously is a round shape. So rubama furujahum, that's fine. Hopefully, inshallah, when you practice more and more, then you can master on this the tafkhim and taqiq, inshallah. And once you perfect your recitation in this heaviness and the lightness, your recitation should be inshallah, much better. So, brothers and sisters, inshallah, we'll stop here today. We'll continue in our next episode on next Tuesday, 6 o'clock again, and on Thursdays in Ramadan time. Our timing is every Tuesday and Thursdays, 6 o'clock. We'll try to cover up as much as possible, inshallah, from the Tajwid. Not go into very deep. There's the brothers can, along with, as you see, is in our home setting, not the very limited resources that we can use. But we'll try to maximize as much as possible, inshallah, to benefit to read the Quran correctly, inshallah. We'll stop here, inshallah. See you next Tuesday. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.